Okay. What's a power?
Power of
Power of something.
something that holds value.
Something that holds value.
If you like, the other, like two, like five, right? You would have like five on one side.
Right. So power involves what? Mathematical operation. Multiplication. Okay? And it's repeated multiplication. It's taking some number and multiplying it by itself a certain number of times. And what does the power look like? Well, it has two numbers. It's got a big number, and then it's got some little number up and to the right. So it takes that form, where x could be any number and n could be any number. So for example, we have a power here. The two numbers together, we call the power. Remember what we call the big number?
Number.
We give it. Good try.
Oh,
Oh.
Like half,
Did you hit your head on the way here this morning? No. Okay. It begins with a B.
Oh, N? Like X? B?
Begins with a B.
Oh, whatever you hear. Oh,
What? Why do you guys go straight to the word bully? Base. What about the little number? Come on, you should know this. Exponents. Okay. So a lot of times we call them exponents, but really they're called powers when you talk about the two numbers together. Just the little number is the exponent. So what does this mean?
5 to the power of 3.
Okay, so that's how we would read it. 5 to the power of 3.
5 times 5 times 5.
Or take 5 and multiply it by itself 3 times. Anybody know what that answer is? 125. Okay. So when we evaluate powers, okay, and remember that word, evaluate means find the value of, because a lot of times you'll see that in instructions. Okay. So if you're asked to evaluate something, you're asked to find the answer. You're asked to figure out what the value is. There is another way we could say 5 to the power of 3 or 5 to the third when the exponent is 3. 5. Not squared, but you're on the right track. Cubed. Okay. Oh. I'm gonna read this.
8 to the power of 2.
8 to the power of 2.
Or 8 times 8.
8 times 8, which is 64. Or if the exponent is 2, we can use a certain word. 8 squared. Cubed is 3. So if the exponent is 2, we can use squared. If the exponent is 3, we can use cubed. If it's 4 or 5 or 6, we just say to the power of. Okay? What's anything to the power of 1?
Itself.
Itself. Okay? Power of an exponent of 1 always equals itself. So for example, 7 to the power of 1. Well, I mean, that's, if you think about it, it's like take 7, but only take it once. So if I'm just taking a 7 once, that's just 7.
Gotcha.
Okay? So what we're going to do, you guys are used to exponents that are counting numbers, like raising to the power of 1, to the power of 2, to the power of 3, etc. Okay? We're going to start learning how to raise to the power of other numbers, like 0, like negative numbers, like fractions, but that's next year. Okay? Okay, so just a little bit of practice. How would you write this as a power? 3 to the power of 6. We don't have to figure it out. We're just asked to write it as a power. How would you write this as a power? 7 to the power of 1. Three to the 5th means what?
3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3.
Which equals 243. Okay. There is a power button on your calculators. Okay. You don't have to go 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Usually the power button is, it looks like this, like a little hat. Or it might look like this, X to the Y. So you would punch 3, then this, then 5, then equals, get your answer. Or you would punch 3, then this, then 5, then equals, and you get your answer. Okay. What does 7 to the 4th power mean? 2000. Good. Okay. So all of this should be reviewed. But what's next may not be. What happens if the bases have negatives in them? Well, almost. It depends whether there's parentheses or not. Let's look at these two together. There's parentheses around the -3. So that means do -3 times -3 times -3 times -3. And if you did that, you would get what? Positive 81. But this is different. There's no parentheses. So what this means is do 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, then put a negative on the answer. So this actually equals negative 81. Parentheses matter. You know, so like if I said, what's this one?
-5.
Positive 25, what's this one? negative 25. Okay? Parentheses matter. Here, well, this means we got to go 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, put a negative on the answer, and put another negative. So this is the same as this question, but then we're asked, okay, put another negative on it. So it's positive 81. Okay. Something else you may see as bases, fractions. This may be new to you. Okay, and whenever we have fractions as a base, they should always have parentheses. You can look at this 2 ways. 3 over 4 times 3 over 4 times 3 over 4, or, and this might be easier to look at it this way, you take 3 up top and raise it to the third, and you take 4 on the bottom and also raise it to the third. So what's 3 to the third? That's 3 squared. 27 over 64. Good. Notice this one, the negative's in parentheses. So when we square it, it's going to be positive. Okay? So it's going to become positive because negative squared is positive. And then I just do 1 squared over 7 squared. One over 49. It's very similar to what we did in the last unit with square roots of fractions. You just take the square root of the top, square root of the bottom. If you take a fraction to an exponent, you take the top to that exponent over the bottom to the same exponent. Would the answer to this one be positive or negative? Negative, because it's outside the parentheses. So it's negative, and then I have to do 5 squared over 8 squared. Negative 25 over 64.
Yeah.
And that's the final answer. Or on where with what? What? Okay.